in this video, we'll break down when you should use heat versus ice for different types of injuries and conditions.
That's right. We're going to talk about whether it's an acute situation or it's chronic, it's been going on for a long time, or maybe arthritis is really bothering you, what to put on, heat or cold, or maybe both.
So first, we're going to talk about acute injuries. So that's an injury that is 6 weeks old or newer. Typically with that, you want to use ice and not heat. Ice can help constrict the blood vessels. It can help reduce pain and inflammation. You actually want to avoid heat during this time period on any injury you may have.
Now, there is a little controversy on using what the time period is. Mike mentioned up to 6 weeks. Some people will say, after 48 hours, you might want to go to heat. But for sure, if you have swelling that you just sprained your ankle, those first couple days, you're not going to put heat on it. We're going to use cold. And that's our experience as well in the clinic over a number of years. So there is a little variance in when you can switch or whatnot. The next thing is chronic. If it is, for sure, after 6 weeks, I think everyone agrees that's chronic. That's a good time probably not to use cold and go to heat. Increases blood flow. The vessels dilate, more blood flow, better healing. Now, there are exceptions to that. I had a person who she preferred, and she was in her 80s. She preferred ice. She loved it. She didn't want the heat.
If that's what you want, go for it, I guess.
There's always exceptions, but we're talking about the majority of time.
Now, if you have a chronic injury, but say you work out, and after the workout, it's kind of flared some things up, and you have some inflammation, then it's okay to use ice. It's kind of a trial and error type thing. Next, we're going to talk about arthritis. Typically, arthritis, heat is good. Moist heat can even be better. It just helps limber up the muscles, ligaments, joints, get blood flow in the area, and typically helps a lot. And also, gout is technically a form of arthritis. With gout, you don't want to have heat. You actually want to have ice. Typically, that occurs in your big toe and happens more as you age.
That's right. Let's see. Was I going to say something about that? No.
I don't think you were.
No, you did a nice job with that. Muscle or headaches. Headaches is something that oftentimes ice can help. And actually, there was a study where if you got a migraine headache and you put a cold pack on the side of your neck, which is going to cool down the blood flow going to your brain. That has been helpful as well. I know if I have like a headache that I feel up here, stress from working with Mike, I'm just kidding, Mike. But I've had good success using a cold pack on the top of my head for that type of thing.
Now, if you are having headache related to neck tension, say your neck muscles are tight, or even on top of your head, some of those muscles can get tight, then you're going to want to use heat. So if it feels like a muscular tightness issue, heat's a good option. If it's a migraine, you know you have migraines, then you want to use ice.
Good. Tendonitis, and this is one tendinosis.
Thank
you. Oh, I always refer to everything as tendonitis.
So tendonitis is an inflammation process. Itis means inflammation. So again, inflammation, you want to use ice to settle it down. Tendinosis is typically something is kind of dying or necrotic, it can be.
And we get stiffness associated with it.
Yeah, so we want to relieve the pain and get some heat in there to help get some blood flow in that area. Next is muscle sprains and strains. Now, most of the time, this is an inflammatory response, so maybe you have some type of muscle strain in your forearm, foot, wherever it is. Typically, you just want to use some ice because it's kind of an inflammatory process typically.
Right. And again, that is a time thing. If it's an old sprain that's improving, it's time to stretch it out, then it might be time to heat it before you do some stretching. And also, we don't want to make it more confusing, but there is contrast bath, and that's where you actually use heat. Put your foot, say you got an ankle sprain, put it in warm water.
Yes.
And then put it in ice water, and you go back and forth like that. We actually have a video on that. That's getting into the weeds a little bit about how you do it, but it is something I wanted to mention.
Now, typically when using ice or heat, you're going to want to use it for 20 minutes consistently and then 20 minutes off. Just make sure if you're using heat, it's not too hot or it's not too cold. Some contraindications would be if you have some type of neuropathy, so you don't have good sensation sensation or feeling, you have some type of open wounds, things like that, you're going to want to be cautious with using either of these.
There you go. So what else are we going to talk about, Mike? Some actual applications?
Yeah, so we actually have numerous ways you can use ice or heat. First off, we have the hot and cold head. This actually does both. It is on most of our Pro model massage guns. You simply turn the button on if you want to massage an area that is being painful, say my quad muscle, just turn it on to the cold setting, 2 options, or heat setting. All our Pro models, again, have this heat and cold feature.
Yeah, it really works well. I was surprised when I first saw it. I figured, no way, but I tried it. It works really well. Let's go back to actual hot packs or cold packs.
Yes.
It's nice to get one that's gel filled, like this one. You can put it in the microwave to heat it up or put it in the freezer to cool it down, and it can work either way. You can actually make hot packs or cold packs very cheaply. Once again, Bob and Brad have made videos on that where you use water and rubbing alcohol with a Ziploc bag. They can be very cheap and effective as well.
Now, for heating options, we have a whole host of options here. I have the cape on, so it gets the whole back. It is plug-in. You can see here you just change the temperature and time. Very easy to use. And I'll turn around so you can see how big it is. It's actually weighted on the edges here, so it stays in contact with my back, and it's getting warm. And to be honest, it's kind of warm in the studio already, so I might take this off soon.
Now, the other thing about if you're going to get a hot pack that I've just discovered in the last year is if you get a hot pack that is weighted across the whole area like this one is. The big advantage I've found is if I put it on my knee, it just drapes down and you get a lot of surface contact, which is absolutely critical to have an effective cold pack or hot pack. That's why gel packs, when they're cold, are so incredible. I've had patients use the gel packs that they're stiff when they come out and you can't wrap it around. They are not very effective at all. I really enjoy that one right there. I was using that the other night. I was out riding my bike. I was freezing because it was getting cold and I had the chills, and I put that right across my chest like this, laid on there while I was watching TV, and I was very grateful.
I thought you were going to say while you're riding your bike.
No.
I hope you have a long extension cord because you're not going to get very far, but this is another good option. It's similar to what I'm wearing, just a bit smaller.
And it's weighted.
Yeah,
I love it.
Weighted. This is weighted
love it.
all throughout, where this one's more just on the outside border.
Yeah, I can't say enough about these. The nice thing about it, you can set the timer to have it go off so you don't leave it on for hours, which you do not want to do. You may be 30 minutes, 45 minutes at the most. That keeps you from getting overheated and whatnot. All 3 of these, you can actually disconnect this. So this is connected to here just by hand. Pull it out like this one. Turn around, Mike. Turn around. Come on. Let's get
Okay.
going. Pull that out, throw it in the washer, and wash it in case maybe it got dirty one way or another. And then air dry it, and it works well.
So if you'd like to purchase any of these items, you can find them on Amazon, or you can go to bobandbrad.com in the Our Store section, and stuff's hitting my feet. I think it's time to end the video.
Just relax, Mike. Okay. Good. Cold packs, hot packs, use them properly, and they can be very effective for pain control. Enjoy and be careful in everything that you do.
That was a long outro.
Bob and Brad, the 2 most famous physical therapists.